Alrighty. Hey guys. Can you hear me? Geom to everyone. See a lot of friendly faces. I'm doing it from my phone for the first time, so I don't know if it works as well. Let me know if you can hear me. Okay, you can hear me. Great. Good stuff. It's a little bit different on your phone than I normally do on my computer, but anywho, this should work fine. Good to see everyone. Let's give everyone a minute or two to hop on, and then we can get into it. Where's everyone dialing in from? Drop your location in the comments. I know a few of you already where you are, so let's see where the rest of you are coming in from. Drop it in. All right, we got some people on Twitter, got some people on YouTube. Mo from Oman. Awesome. Australia, Middle East, NYC. What's up, David? Cryptomas, what's up? Australia again. Turkey, Azerbaijan, Ukrainian living in Turkey, Switzerland, Hong Kong, UK, Cleveland. Ooh, someone's in the great state of Ohio, Max. Iran, Delhi, India, Italy, Malaysia. Scott, what's up, my man? We have a very international Sherpa community or Omi community. That's pretty awesome. Calling in from all over the world. I feel pretty good about that, to be honest. We have a worldwide movement going on. Russia, Nigeria, Germany, India, London. Someone's asking to upload with subtitles in Spanish. I'm not sure how to do that, to be honest. I think it will come later on YouTube potentially. India, India, Tunisia, or Tunisia for a vacation. Outside of Big Ben, USA, another American. Well, I don't know if you're American, but you're in the US. When Mantra USD? That's a good question. I will talk about that a little bit today. Is that Azerbaijan flag, Rufat? I can't really see it. It's very small. Morocco. I love Morocco. Been there a couple times. Awesome, awesome place. Been to Turkey too. It's cool. Koh Samui, nice. It's a nice place in Thailand. Alrighty. Well, we got people from literally all corners of the globe. I don't think I saw any in Latin America yet, but I do know we have a lot of Sherpas and community members in Brazil particularly. But anywho, let's get it going. Oh, good. I was right with the Azerbaijan flag. Whoever just posted the black, red, and green flag, I'm not sure what one that is. It's very small. Anyway, love from India, Sunny. Good to see you, man. Alrighty, cool. So let's get it going. Um, so the past couple weeks have been really busy, really hectic. Oh, Afghanistan. Okay, awesome. Sri Lanka as well. Amazing. All right, let's get going. So the past couple weeks have been really, really hectic, really busy. We've been pretty active in a couple of the major conferences around the world. So last week was Token 2049 in Singapore, which is the biggest crypto conference in the world. The week prior was KBW in Seoul. Both of those we had some presence. We were active participants and had a really, honestly good, good showing. Vibes were good in both places. Met with a lot of partners, um, and in general was a big success. Um, we weren't. We had a community event that we hosted in Korea, which was good. We had a couple hundred people show up, come to our event. People who are building on Mantra, exchange partners, just community members, etc. So that was really good to see. Obviously, Korea is an important market. It's a big market for crypto. You can really see the passion in the local market that people are super excited about everything going on there. And also, it's a place for us that's important because we got listed on the two major exchanges there, Upbit and Bitum. So we were able to meet with our exchange partners, which was really good, have a good conversation about some of the plans that we have for the market. So that was really a useful experience and successful one. Then in Token, and in Singapore the next week. That's like the biggest crypto conference in the world. So many people coming into town. It's a pretty hectic, busy one. It's right around the same time as F1, and the city is just honestly chaos, but like in a good way. Um, Singapore is an awesome place. Uh, Good place for hosting a conference because everything is really close, everything is really nearby, but it ends up just being back to back to back to back to back to back to back. I mean, you probably ended up starting at you know, meetings going from like 8 a.m. until, 1, 2 a.m. every day. And I mean like proper meetings. I was there with my wife. So it wasn't like like a lot of the pictures you saw on CT of people going to Marquee every night. That was definitely not me. I was on calls every night with with our team and our partners in the US primarily. Anyway, that was good. We did not have any side events or anything, but we did host a small fireside chat, which I think was quite important. Was very symbolic, in my opinion. For those who don't remember, after the events of April 13th, roughly 1 week later, I had to do a fireside chat with Henry Oslanian, founder of Nine Blocks Capital and a host on CNBC, and we did a fireside chat explaining what was happening. It was the first in-person event that we had done, aside from the one in Korea, which was the day of. And we talked a lot about what we were going to do, what changes we were going to implement, how we're going to make sure something, like this never happens again. And on the stage at that point, I said, we should do it again in September, I guess in October in this case, because it was a few months after, but we should have this conversation again at the next token, because we want to show all the things that we said we're going to do, and we just wanted to show the progress. And he said, "Yeah, that sounds like a great idea." So we did that, and we showed all the things that we had done, including some of the big integrations and kind of updated relationships that we had, the new relationship with Invenium, the buyback program, a number of these other things that we had done, the EVM mainnet launch. All these things have been challenging big hurdles to accomplish, but we did that during the last few months, and it was good for the world to see that we kept following through, we kept our word. And again, for me, it's kind of table stakes. Like, we just needed to do all that stuff to give us that foundational, um you know kind of layer to build upon. And now the rest of it is, going forward, executing, bringing more assets on chain, bringing more dApps, and really doing all the things that we wanted to do prior to everything that happened earlier this year. Um, Obviously, things have changed. It's different. The market's updated, and evolved. But I think we're still, you know, on the cutting edge of real world assets. We're still leading RWA protocol. There's still a shitload of work to do, but we feel like we're in a pretty good position. So anyway, I think that was an important kind of step to get behind us. I do have a lot of credence for like symbolism and things within business building and within company building, and that was a symbolic kind of turning of the page. Hey, we did all this amazing stuff. It was hard, but the real work's ahead. We're just getting started, and as always, job's not finished, right? But anyway, the full chat, I think the full conversation will be shared relatively soon. I think we only were able to share snippets of it so far. But anyone who wants to check that out, I'm sure it'll be out on YouTube and socials in the near term. Um, Alrighty, so let's kind of get into the updates a little bit. That was just more setting the stage. So, a quick one on EVM mainnet update. So we launched the EVM mainnet, or multi-VM technically, roughly about a little bit over 2 weeks ago. And we're safe to say that it has been quite stable. We're feeling like we're in a very good position. New dApps protocols, and some of the foundational infrastructure within the chain itself are starting to be deployed. I think maybe you saw the Protofire Safe deployment, which is just the Gnosis Safe multi-sig, which is an important kind of like critical piece of infrastructure for any EVM chain. So all these things are starting to happen. All these things are coming out, and I think, again, that symbolism of the conversation in Singapore coming into October or October, whatever you want to call it, and through the rest of this year, it's really just full on execution mode. dApps coming, Mantra USD coming, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All these things are going to start coming out imminently. So we're super excited about that. It's going to give you guys a lot of different activities and things to actually utilize on chain. And we're excited about both the permissioned and permissionless side of the Mantra ecosystem that's being developed. And we definitely do have both sides, right? And I'll talk a bit about that later. So anyway, that's moving. We're excited about that. Excited for you guys to test it. I think a lot of you guys have been testing out things on Lotus testnet, which is great. There's already a bunch of TVL there on the testnet side. People are interacting with stuff, people launching tokens, people adding permissionless liquidity, people adding permissionless incentives. This is really cool. And we're super pumped for that to actually come to mainnet. Oh, sorry, Katie has a question. Let's see. When Mantra Finance and Mantra USD launch, as Loki launching sometime in November. So I'm assuming this is coming quite soon. Good assumption. That's all I'm going to say. um, but anyway, back to kind of ecosystem update, back to Lotus. So you guys have been actively engaging with that, which we're excited about. Um, I'm not going to like spoil the Lotus team's announcements or whatnot, but we're super excited about the launch. It will be again relatively imminently. We have a number of interesting assets and pairs and things that are going to be launched there. So be on the lookout. It will start without a token. I think the plan, again, I don't want to take any shine away from the Lotus team. I think they do have a plan for a token in the future, and of course, this will always have some sort of eco drop, stake drop, and kind of value accrual back to the Omis, Loki, etc. type of community. So just FYI. Another one that people have been asking about is Fluxtra. So Fluxtra, we have kind of taken over the brand. We, meaning Mantra, have kind of taken back over the brand from the initial builders. We're going to relaunch it on EVM. We're going to add a number of different other features to it, so it won't just be an LST, and it'll be coming probably sometime post Lotus. Well, definitely post Lotus, but you can think about having some of these different products interlinked between Lotus and Fluxtra. So excited about that as well. Fluxtra points from before, or Flux points from before, will be retroactively accretive to this new protocol. So anything that was happening on the Cosmos side and the CW20 side will be ported over to the new point system. So just don't worry too much about that. But we're excited that that's going to have its kind of rebirth or reincarnation, let's call it. And also that will eventually have a token as well. Same thing. No ETA, no specifics, but you could assume that this will have value accrual back to Ohm, back to community, etc. Some other good updates. So some of the accelerator projects have been launching onto mainnet, and more of them will come. I think all 7 should be launched on mainnet before the end of the year, which is awesome. So again, super excited that these builders have really focused, put their heads down, grinded throughout the summer, and now the rewards will be paid. Still got a long way to go, but the iterations that they've been working on across a number of different RWA assets, from real estate to horses to racehorses to luxury items, to energy assets. All these different things are coming in Mantra, and we're super excited to be supporting them on the journey. I already mentioned the safe deployments. That's good. So anyone who needs like a multi-sig will have the best in class multi-sig to be able to launch the products and manage treasury and manage assets. So that's great. Omis, we have Omi Albert. Shout out to Omi Albert, doing a great job. I think there's some spaces either happening today or sometime this week, which is awesome. And we're looking forward to bringing the Omis over to Mantra EVM. So that will be happening once there's an NFT marketplace deployment, but that should be happening imminently as well. So that's great. Loki, got a shout out to DeFi Sushi. Loki, again, will be coming imminently as well. And I even saw a community focused or community built NFT or meme coin or something called the Zombies, which I think is kind of cool. Someone was asking me if we had anything to do with it. It's an unofficial project, but I think it's really cool that the community is creating stuff like this. So shout out to whoever is doing that. And obviously, if we can be helpful, let us know. Alrighty. Additionally, as I mentioned, Mantra USD will be important for all this stuff. It'll be the key fundamental element of the ecosystem, and that will be a big unlock for users to interact with the Mantra ecosystem, to invest into different types of RWA assets. We'll have different pairings on the different dexes. We're looking to also have this listed on Sexes, so we're in conversation with different Sexes to get the stablecoin launched there. So again, all the stuff on the way. So I'm in the US right now, and I've been here for the past couple of days to meet with our partners from the Invenium team, meet with Pat, meet with a bunch of their team members, really strategize on some of the key initiatives that we're working on. And to be honest, there's some really, really big ones. It's always kind of mind blowing spending time with Pat and the team. Just some of the crazy things that they're building and some of the crazy things that we're going to be working on. Um, and I just won't say too much, other than just like leave you with that general bullish sentiment. Other than you can think about the two major things that we're working on together right now, that should be announced this month. Which I'll give a little plug on Agentic, which is our conference that we're hosting together with Cointelegraph and Invenium later this month in Abu Dhabi. We'll be talking about these different things there. So that'll be exciting. I think that's on the 21st and 22nd. We're also going to have a big pitch fest for people who want to pitch different RWA tokenization and AI agentic solutions to build on Mantra. But anyway, the kind of big key partnership initiatives that we're focusing on will be primarily related to an asset, one type of specific asset that will be coming onto Mantra, which is massive. And then the other one is more of a protocol related thing. And I'll just leave it there. Rufat is asking about a hard cap. I will come back to that in just a bit. Thank you. So anyway, the hard cap, by the way, is 2.5B. That is already there, at least in terms of the economics built in. So anyway, okay, let's see. So I think maybe some of you have seen a tweet I did not too long ago. I can't even really remember, to be honest. Maybe it was like last week or something, where I outlined kind of like the 5 pillars of the Mantra ecosystem, and I called them the protocol, app layer, Mantra ecosystem, Mantra USD, and token. And then of course you can think of also the community as a key pillar. I was only thinking of our internal ones, but community is a key pillar as well, so that could be number 6. But anyway, when we're thinking of the different things that we're building out, it would be protocol, app layer, ecosystem, Mantra USD, and Ohm, etc. So I'll just talk about a little bit what those all mean to me, so you guys can think about that. So when I talk about protocol, I'm really thinking of Mantra Chain. Obviously, the EVM upgrade was one of the big protocol developments that we had this year, or multi-VM upgrade, I should say, but EVM deployment and compatibility. We have other, major protocol enhancements and developments that will be coming. Well, like I said, we'll be announcing them later this month. But a few things will have a very specific protocol roadmap that we're going to be working on, including kind of enhanced scalability, uh, better throughput, etc. So all these things are basically built into the protocol. So that's what I consider like the protocol layer. So everything specific to the chain. App layer would be for us internal apps that we are developing. And this is primarily comprised around anything Mantra app related. So the two things you could think of here would be Mantra Zone, which is the permissionless app layer. And that's primarily for migration. That's primarily for some basic staking. To be honest, it's fundamental utilities that are meant to be open to anyone. It is not necessarily something that we're going to actively develop. So that's the internal side. For the permissionless side of the app layer. On the permission side, you can think of Mantra Finance. That's where we're going to have a number of different things from, obviously what we're doing with Pisces and other projects where we're, kickstarting and launching their RWA assets and tokens. We're also applying for an issuance license from Vara, so that'll be an enhancement to bring all additional real world assets onto Mantra in a compliant way via the Dubai licensing. We have a broker license already that's mainly for distribution of different types of virtual assets and RWAs. And then we also have an exchange. So you can think a little bit about the different products that we're going to have here. Primarily would be kind of like that, fundraising launchpad, Kickstarter, whatever you want to call it, which is a bit of a like what Pisces is going to be piloting with us. Vaults. So we're going to have all different types of RWA and virtual asset, digital asset vaults, and then exchange. So these are kind of the key things for Mantra Finance, and those will all be happening soon. A lot of people asking about buyback. I'll touch on that a little bit, but basically this is just a thing that's constantly happening in the background, and we'll update the next tranche whenever we have, frankly, when we have time, to be honest. It's a little bit of a process and we've had other things going on, but it is constantly ongoing. I think, if I'm not mistaken, latest count that I saw, which was maybe a week and a half ago, was around 30 million. So it's already more than whatever we've, shared with you guys, just FYI. Anywho, that's all I'm going to say about that. Ecosystem layer, pretty obvious. That's third parties, dApps, protocols, bridges, integrations, all these things. That's really the ecosystem that we want to develop. Critical part of the ecosystem for us, or part of the pillars, let me call it, part of the stack. Um, we have our stablecoin, Mantra USD. So I think I had spoken a little bit incorrectly where I called it a yield-bearing stablecoin. I want to do a bit of a correction on that. Technically, it is an actual stablecoin, and what I mean by that is it is a peg to the US dollar $1 stablecoin that also has programmable yield built into it. So what does that mean? It means that it is backed by U.S. Treasuries, cash equivalents, and short-term duration yield-bearing assets that then have um, the ability to define where that yield would go um, for people holding and creating that asset. Again, for us, this is an important part of any type of stablecoin or other USDC, USDT, et cetera, that comes into Mantra. We want it to be basically funneled directly into Mantra USD because that has more value accretion to the Mantra ecosystem, to Ohm, et cetera. Right. So that's a very, very important part, very important thing to understand. Um, and we've talked a number of different things about how we could potentially use it as gas, how we could potentially direct some of this yield back to Ohm stakers, all these different things we're exploring. We could also make them gasless. There's a number of different things that we're looking at here. So that'll be a pretty cool pillar to develop over time. Um, Muscle Bird, you said you have something in mind to push the price higher. I did not say I have something in mind to push the price higher, but I said I had a plan. And I will talk about that plan in just a bit. I've saved the best for last, I guess. Anyway, let's see. Well, maybe the best for last. Let's see. The last pillar is the token, right? Um, Andrew Nussel, our Ohm on Binance, is it safe from being forfeited, bro? I do not know what that means, but Binance has already deprecated the ERC. So you can't deposit your Ethereum Ohm. I think you can still deposit BSC because they're trying to get all the BSC back on the exchange. And yeah, anyway, so yes, if your tokens are on Binance, they are on Mantra Chain mainnet and they are safe from being forfeited, whatever that means. Alrighty, so by the way, guys, you can ask me about price. I cannot comment on that, and you should all know that if you've been in crypto for more than a day, founders cannot comment on the status of their tokens and the price of the tokens that they issue. So NFA, not going to happen. But talking about the token, fundamental pillar, and it is really important for us to kind of think about the strategies behind Ohm. At the end of the day, you do need to have both a strategy for the product and you do need to have a strategy for the token. The token is a product in and of itself in crypto, and we understand that better than most. I started talking a little bit about the deprecation efforts. So far, I think we have 500 and close to 20 million Ohm bridged or migrated to mainnet, which is great. There's a total supply on Ethereum of 888 million, and we're getting close to that. So we're excited about that, and excited to have more coming. Actually, I think we should have one other major exchange bridging and migrating this week. Roughly, I think it's in the range of about 60 million tokens. So we're almost at 600 post this migration effort, and I think it's literally in 24 to 48 hours. So that's awesome. A few other of the smaller exchange holdings will migrate, and then we'll have pretty significant majority across the line bringing Ohm home. So that's great. One of the challenges, though, with both having Mantra EVM live as well as having an ERC20 token that's historical and legacy is we are not able to allow exchanges to support Mantra EVM for Ohm today. Does anyone know why? Can anyone hazard a guess? Give it a minute or two, and then I'll have a drink of water. All right, no one's guessing. Anyway, so the answer is because for exchanges supporting Mantra EVM or Mantra and Ohm in general, presently today you could support it both on the Cosmos side and you can support it on EVM, right? And that means that the wallet addresses where you're depositing and withdrawing would look like for Mantra on Cosmos, Mantra One, which is what you guys use, nowadays, Leap, Kepler, etc. Or uh, no, Andrew, I don't think that's the exchange, by the way. It's a different one. Smaller regional one, but they have a lot of tokens. Just FYI. Anywho, Mantra 1 address for Mantra on Cosmos, 0x address like you would have on any Ethereum base address, right? But it's a different chain. It's Mantra EVM chain. Um, so if you took the ERC20 Ohm token um, and sent it to Binance Mantra EVM address, it would go not to the same wallet. It wouldn't go to the same chain, and it would cause significant issues for exchanges. So effectively, in order for us to have Mantra EVM supported on major exchanges like Binance, like Upbit, et cetera, we need to have the ERC20 fully deprecated. And as you're aware, that's going to happen on January 15th of 2026. And the reason that we did it on that timeline was twofold. One, frankly, Binance asked us to give them plenty of time. And two, we looked to put it into 2026 so that people would have the ability to choose which taxable year they could potentially migrate within. And that's not relevant for everyone, but I know for a fact it is relevant for certain countries. So we gave people the ability to basically choose their tax obligation year when they do a particular activity. So that was the idea. Um, so that's really what we need to get behind us, and that's going to take a little bit of time. To be honest, I wish we could do it, sooner than later. But it is what it is. So Jan 15th is a really, really important date for us. But the kind of the change that I want to talk about and the plan that we talked about. So I've been talking to our exchange partners. I've been talking to them about this issue with the EVM. I've been talking to them about some of the challenges we faced and all the different updates and things we've done about it. And to be honest, like one of the issues is frankly just it's the chart, right? And there are certain things that we can do to remedy all these situations in one go. And effectively, what that means is we're going to be looking to do an upgraded token for Ohm. I'm not going to give the plan just yet on the details, but I'm just telling you guys that effectively what this looks like is um, a new ticker, a new fresh look, not a rebrand. We're still going to be Mantra. Not a tokenomics change, but we will do an updated token, and most likely we'll be splitting it. So that means for every 1 Ohm, you're going to get X something else, right? This will serve a number of things. It will allow us to upgrade the chain, upgrade the token, give ourselves a fresh look, get a new chart. So starting completely from scratch across exchanges, across data aggregators like CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap, etc. And this will help in a number of different ways, just from an optics perspective, as well as actually allowing us to solve that critical issue that we are facing currently with the EVM side of things, right? And we're looking to have this happen roughly, basically right after the Jan 15th deprecation, which I believe falls on a Thursday. So you should assume this would happen the following week. I want to say a couple things. One, this will not be changing anything to do with the tokenomics, right? So we're not adding supply, we're not doing anything. Everything that's existing today will just have some sort of split attached to it, but nothing is changing, right? Two, um, you will not have to do anything from a migration perspective, right? So you guys are already having to migrate from ERC20 to mainnet. We are trying to make this as seamless as possible. So then when we upgrade the chain, as an example, if you have on X date 100 Ohm, on Y date, you would have, this amount of new token times whatever, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it may be, right? You don't have to do anything. It'll just appear in your wallet. And um, of course, obviously, we're excited about the fact that it will, allow for deposit and withdrawals on Mantra EVM, a fresh chart, a fresh look, but it will still be the core fundamental foundational elements of everything that we're doing. No pivot, no tokenomics change, still same mantra, just prepared for what we're going to do in 2026 and get ready to get back to business. I'm sure there's still a lot of questions. People asking about the ticker name, etc. I'm not going to say that just yet. But we have a plan in mind, and I think we're going to use this as a way to pilot community forums for discussions around what we are going to do, how we're going to implement this. what the exact changes will look like, and obviously this will have to go through governance anyway. I'm just proposing this as an idea. I have obviously thought about it a little bit more deeper than what I'm just letting on today. There's some good ideas, going in my mind, but again, the idea here and the principle here is support for Mantra EVM, fresh chart, fresh look, not a pivot, no tokenomics changes, and no painful migration. These are the most important things for us right now, right? Um, so let's see a couple questions. What about stake tokens? Any token, no matter if it's staked or not, you will not have to do anything. We're completely upgrading the chain. This will allow basically no one. I mean, there may be a slight bit of downtime. We're still working through some of the technical kinks, but this will not have any issues for any of your assets on the chain as it is today. I'm not sure what that means by the rebranding stuff apply to sex wallets. Uh, I guess, well, one, it's not a rebrand. We're still gonna be Mantra. The ticker change would definitely change within a wallet. It would be a new market. And also, if you have a futures question, a future position or new chart doesn't look required. So the exchange will give you the exact information on what you need to do for all positions, how they're going to wind down particular markets and set up the new ones. They'll have all that information. We have already communicated with our exchanges, and they are excited and on board with this idea. But again, we need to run through the process, officially go through governance, actually propose something to you guys, and then of course we'll also need to have the exchanges give us their plans and ideas on exactly how they're going to implement it on their side, because every exchange is a little bit different. But you could almost think about this as like, when Maple Finance went from MPL to Syrup, something like that. That's an example. Or also MakerDAO when they went to Sky. But again, we are not. We're not rebranding. We're not changing anything like that. Um, it's if anything, we're doubling down on Mantra. Let's put it that way. So yes, exchanges are excited. Again, Andrew, I won't tell you exactly how many new tokens you'd be getting because I'm not going to exactly share the split. But there will be some sort of split going on, which means most likely you're going to have more. So anyway, just FYI. Alrighty. So I think that's it for today. I'll leave it there. Maybe give a couple people some time to ask questions. I think a lot of people are asking about perps trading, etc. I would just say for the time being, let's please just hold off a tad on making any assumptions there, because again, the exchanges have done this many times. They will give explicit direct instructions on how to do this, so don't worry too much. Okay. Um, and then thank you, Andrew. Glad to hear that you like the idea. Matt L, what type of activity could be rewarded with Monte USD airdrops? Good question, but I'm not going to say that right now. Steven, why split it rather not reduce it so the hard cap will be below billions? Why does that matter? I'm not entirely sure. Rufat, oh, the hard cap. Yeah, by the way, so hard cap, again, will be implemented during this upgrade officially. It's just easier than having to do it twice. So the hard cap will be implemented at some sort of X split from whatever we currently have, which is 2.5. That'll be implemented at the chain protocol level. Any dates? I'm not going to give dates, bro. But appreciate the question. Soon, seriously, soon. All this stuff is like we're talking, weeks here, days and weeks, not months. Alrighty. Well, this was a pretty active conversation. I appreciate you guys very much. Hope you have a great rest of your day. ETH X100, you're writing in Cyrillic, so I can't read that. So anyway. The same position was at the rebranding of EOS tokens after the positions were closed on exchange. Okay. Anyway. Alrighty, guys. Well, I appreciate you. I hope you have a great day. And yes, always have a plan, always got a next step. But we have a lot more details to share about this. So be on the lookout. We'll be communicating actively on this because, again, we want you guys to participate in the discussion. We want to, take in your ideas. We want to hear what you have to say. So please do share them. We'll have more of these community discussions and a governance forum for people to communicate in. So keep it going. Thanks for the support. Love you guys. Appreciate it.